If you're considering using advertising with Facebook or Instagram or Google Ads as a strategy to grow your business, in today's episode, I'm going to uncover why you may want to think twice before starting that way. And instead, what you want to make sure you set in terms of the right foundation so that you can validate your offer, your concept before you start investing ads into something that may not yet be ready for it. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Musicians Creating Prosperity podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Fabiana. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you why before you start investing in advertising and putting your precious resources into ads such as Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, or LinkedIn ads, you may want to think twice and make sure that you have a validated offer, a proof of concept, and that you know your messaging is dialed in, on point, and attracting the right clients. And not only that, but also that they're able to go through your system and that you have a proven concept that will allow you to be able to have testimonials and to feel that you're validating your offer before you start investing in putting gasoline on a fire that may not yet be lit. Let me share more what I mean. One of the misconceptions that I hear many musicians think about as they come into my world is this idea that they need to restructure whatever they're doing in their businesses and focus on advertising what they have and putting so much effort and strategy and energy into trying to crack the code of ads and how to market and grow their businesses using advertising. And while I think there's a place for most businesses at some point to use advertising, it is generally not the best way to start. Why? Because if you are reinventing the way you work, whether it's switching from teaching one-on-one lessons to teaching an online group program, or in any way switching the way you were perhaps earning as a performer, gigging, packaging your skills differently now to monetize your knowledge rather than trading your time, the main structure for this to work effectively is to go through a rebranding process that will allow you to elevate your current perspective, your current positioning in the marketplace, and help people see how you could potentially help others through more than just what you've been doing in the past, how you can add more value, how you could solve people's problems without doing exactly the same things you were doing before. And therefore, how you could charge a premium rate for that newly invented offer, right? And again, whether you're launching something new that you've never really taught in this way before, you've maybe never considered mentoring in this way. Maybe you are someone who's done the thing a lot, right? Maybe you've been an active performer, or you've been producing music, or maybe managing other artists, or maybe you had a record label and you know how to get things done. You may have even done it for other people. And if you're following this model that we talk about in this podcast so much, which is taking a step back and monetizing a mentorship program, right? Creating a teaching model that will allow you to share your knowledge, whether it's around music or anything else, then chances are you're going to want to first reposition yourself, your expertise, and your knowledge into the marketplace so that people around you can see that you're now doing something different, that you've reinvented yourself, that you have a new way of serving. And the best way to do that is not by jumping into investing in ads right away, although it's a bit difficult because a lot of the people that come to my world are being promoted this concept of, I'll just help you create an offer, put something together, and run ads to it right away. And well, that may work for some. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but in my experience, what I have seen work much better is to first build a strong foundation for what is it you're trying to offer to the market. In which way are you reinventing yourself? Are you switching into something different and validating that concept by creating content, by sharing with your network? Chances are you have people around you that will happily be your first adopters of this new offer, would happily jump in and be the first founding members, if you will, or may know people who could be interested without having to invest in advertising yet. Why? Because until you have a steady flow of clients coming in who are responding to your content just without ads organically, that's the safest way that you can establish a proof of concept, meaning knowing that the message is dialed in, that people are actually appreciating and responding, and that it's resonated with the right clients who are willing to pay you to provide them with your services, to give them the solution to their problems. And in the process of working with them, you also see that, in fact, the clients that you wanted to work with, they're actually getting results. And you have that confidence that is building up in this new way. Because chances are, I feel like most of the musicians that I work with, you have knowledge, you know you can help people, but you may never have done it in this new way, right? You may never have packaged your knowledge in this premium model or in an online way, perhaps, or maybe you were selling low ticket memberships and low ticket courses, and you may be reinventing yourself to create more of a premium program that is based on your holistic overall brand, right? Whatever that is, for your own sake and your own confidence, you want to start sharing that with people who can come in and showing you that they can actually get results. And that validation can serve as proof of concept, it can serve as testimonials. All those things can later help you set yourself apart using advertising strategies. I started my business 100% organically for almost 2 years, and I did not invest in expanding my visibility because I understood that the best way to start is by tapping into the people that I already know. And even though at first, when I looked at my entire network, my mentors were telling me, look at your network, look at people around you who could potentially benefit from this new way that you're wanting to serve, to guide musicians, to coach people. Because I had been doing it in the context of a university. That was my job, teaching musicians how to build, grow, and scale their businesses. But for the first time, I was expanding out of the classroom, right, in academia, and thinking, well, maybe I can help people globally. And at first, it felt really scary and vulnerable, if you will, to look at the people that I knew that trusted me, that I had a relationship, some of these people I knew for decades even, and to think, wow, well, would they want what I'm doing? Would it help them? Could they benefit from it? And at first I remember thinking, no, I don't think I can help anyone in my network. I don't know anyone, because underneath it, it felt so much more protected to just want to reach out to complete strangers who know nothing about me, who there is no invested history or relationship or anything prior, and who I could easily say yes or say no, or they could say yes or no to me. And there would be no hard feelings because there was no pre-existing relationship. And so many times musicians who are trying to grow their businesses in a new way, reinvent themselves, they just want to bypass this uncomfortable step, which is so valuable. And they just want to put money on ads and try to find complete strangers who know nothing about them, and somehow expect that miraculously by throwing money at the machine, right, eventually the algorithm is going to magically find these dream clients who are going to come into your program, get results, and everyone's going to live happily ever after. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not what I've seen happen, and actually quite the contrary. What I've seen happen for those who try to prematurely start venturing into advertising without having dialed in their offer yet, without having validated their offer, without knowing what the new positioning of their business is and how to communicate it effectively, is that they end up spending money on ads. They burn a lot of money, and then they think, oh, the ads didn't work. Ads don't work for me. And it's not that the ads don't work, is that they're not ready for ads. And so their messaging may not be working, or the way they're targeting, even their own understanding of who their ideal clients are, can be sometimes flawed, right? You may think you want to work with a specific type of client and you may create ads geared towards that client. But next thing you know, someone else may actually be resonating with your offer, with your messaging, with your brand, with your values that you didn't expect. And yet here you are narrowing down, niching down too specifically into one client only, when thanks maybe you have other people who would benefit and you've never considered it. So you don't target them, you don't reach out to them, you just totally exclude them because you think, oh, I can only work with this client. Whereas if you do this organically first and you share your content, you spread the message, right? You can, of course, craft it, and you should craft it carefully and understand how to make it relevant to your ideal client. But you can have other people that can all of a sudden be responding to that message and say, hey, I'm interested in this thing. Tell me more. And next thing you know, initial assumptions that you made, thinking of who you initially could help with this offer, can be expanded, right? Like I have clients who are launching programs and they want to serve parents of homeschooled children, but also teachers who work with young kids. Essentially, both types of clients are coming together under the same need, which is, in this case, I'm thinking of a client who's building a program for students who have attention deficit disorders and autism and all of that, and who may need some extra help or additional ways of learning that are not particularly the normal way, right? And initially she was thinking, well, should I target parents of kids or should I target teachers? The reality is both could benefit from the offer, which is to create a very step-by-step methodology helping these teachers and parents know how to get the best results in these types of students. You don't have to split them, right? You can actually put them both under this umbrella. But all these decisions are better crafted in a playground that has less high stakes involved. And if there's a room for optimization along the way and you need to tweak things and improve things and refine things, you're not burning money while you're doing that. Hey, quick pause here. If you are a musician, music educator, or creative entrepreneur who's built a successful business, I need to ask you something. Do you feel trapped by your own success? Maybe you have steady clients, consistent revenue, maybe even a team, but you're working more hours than ever. You can't take time off because everything depends on you. You've become the bottleneck in your own operation. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. You're not failing, you're just succeeding without the right systems. The skills that got you here aren't the same ones that you need to scale. I know because I've been there. I founded my music academy in 2011, and by 2016, I had built the systems to manage it completely remotely on autopilot. That success led to my online business, which replaced my university salary and gave me the freedom to build a lifestyle business on my own terms. I've also helped countless musicians around the world do the exact same thing, win back their time while exponentially scaling their income on their own terms. That's why I'm hosting my free Autopilot Your Music Business Masterclass to show you exactly how you can do this too. Go to musiciansprofitmasterclass.com and secure your spot right now. Imagine having the freedom to focus on what you love the most while your business thrives on autopilot. That's exactly what we'll build together. Now, back to today's episode. So that is my recommendation is like, if you are looking at creating more visibility for your business, you're going to want to think about several principles that are going to help you realize when could you know if you are ready for this or not, right? If you are reinventing your business, the first thing you're going to want to know, as I mentioned, is like, are people responding to it? If you haven't yet had anyone respond to your concept, or maybe to your newly reinvented concept, because chances are you're not doing something brand new that you've never done before, right? Chances are you already have a base of knowledge, you have expertise, you just maybe have never brought it to the market in this new way. So you want to make sure, number one, that people are responding to it, that they're engaging. Beyond that, you want to see that people can actually buy it. They take the next step. They're willing to invest in this solution. That you have validated this assumption of, I think this could help this type of person, and that person responded and said, yes, please, here's my investment, show me the way. And then you want to be able to see that when you start working with this type of client, that they actually get the results, and that you can see that if they follow your process, your system, which may be something you are going to create along the way. It's not something you have to have fully developed before you start working with clients. That's the methodology that I advocate. And there's many podcasts that I talk about that. But even in that instance, you want to start building the materials and seeing, oh, I create this content, it creates this type of result. And then you may want to have some testimonial, some proof that you've actually done the thing. And it's not so much for others to see the proof, although of course, marketing is based on results. People like seeing results, case studies, proof that what you do works. It's important. But believe it or not, the best part of having testimonials is that it gives you the confidence. It gives you that boost of an energy of feeling grounded when you're talking to others, being able to say, yes, this is real. I have something valuable. I know that if I work with you over this amount of time, you are going to get better. You are going to solve the problem that you have. And when you have that internal conviction, that confidence, you become much more effective in your own sales and marketing strategies. And when you create content, organically, you start developing that muscle of sharing the vision, sharing the stories, bringing to the marketplace on and on again, and getting better at it. Because again, the more time you spend doing this, the more people you help, the more results you get, the more and more confident you start showing up. So that by the time you have to actually create an actual ad and make a video or write a post or create a graphic, you feel solid. Like, it's impossible that you're going to be like, oh, I'm not really sure. Your energy is going to come across as solid and magnetic and confident. And that attracts the right type of client, especially when you're investing advertising dollars behind that content. You want to make sure it's good, it's dialed in, and you believe in it. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be super polished or produced. I'm not talking about good from that lens. I'm talking about your energy. Your energy needs to be dialed in. You want to be able to come across as someone who believes in what they're telling people, right? And who knows and who can think about specific examples and case studies that validate that thing that you're sharing with the marketplace of, like, I can solve this problem. Here's what I can do. If you have this thing, I can help you. So all of these are important strategies for you to look at your business growth and your marketing strategies and making sure that you're leveraging your existing audience. Your network is the most important part of this process, because the beginning is critical. If you start going to your existing network and you don't have the right dialed in messaging strategy, you don't have the right offer design, and you just kind of go at your existing network with something that's like half baked, if you know what I mean, you kind of have one shot at it, right? I don't want to scare you, but it's the truth. Like once you've gone through your network and you've shared with people what it is you're doing, it better be good. Like it better be well outlined, well structured. The concept must be very well explained. It better be clear so that you can go through your existing network and spend a few months just building your business organically. And then once you know you have a validated offer, think of it as a fire pit. We want to have fire first. We need flames to start, burning. And then the advertising is like, okay, let's grow this fire. Let's add some gasoline to the flames. Boom, all of a sudden the fire can expand and grow, which if that's what you want. But if not, if your fire is not yet lit and you're just putting gasoline and gasoline and gasoline on a dead fire pit, nothing is going to happen. And you're never going to know, is it the ads that are not working? Is it the targeting that is not working? Is it the messaging that is working? Maybe people are not resonating with my brand, with the way I position what I do. You would never know. And that's when thousands of dollars are wasted. So I want to help you make sure that you don't make that same mistake. As I said before, most of all of the clients that I have worked with, they have always, always, always started organically first and have validated their programs, have made sure they know how to put this in place following specific branding strategies, specific offer structured strategies, offer design strategies, specific processes for sales and marketing, right? And if you're finding yourself a little stuck and not knowing whether you have that in place and if it's working, feel free to book a call. I'm happy to discuss with you. Either myself or someone on my team will be happy to share potentially where in these elements you need more support. What are the areas that you may not be yet ready for ads and investing in additional ways of marketing? Or you may be ready. You may have things already totally validated and you're just needing that last vote of confidence that, yeah, you're ready to go. Go ahead and do it. If you're, no matter where you are in this process, my encouragement is don't go at it alone. Don't try to just figure all of it on your own. It's so much easier when you can connect and get real-time input from people who have done the thing already and who know what it takes to actually succeed in putting this in place. So I hope this gives you some opportunities for thinking. You don't have to figure it out. And now, by the way, just a caveat, like you can learn to run ads yourself and you will need to learn the fundamentals to understand it. But do not think that you have to ultimately run everything yourself. That is not something that is a requirement. Some people do it and they learn the skill and they get really good results, but it's not the only way. You could also eventually, if you decide to run ads, you could hire someone to manage those. They're called media buyers. And you can hire someone who can be in charge of looking at the daily statistics every day, adjusting the targeting of the campaigns, the budget, and looking at, all of the KPIs that have to determine whether the ads are working or not, canceling ads, adding new ads. It's a lot of work and it requires an additional budget, which when you are at the stage of changing what you do and maybe testing this new model in a new way, you need to be careful how to spend your budget, right? The way I like to see it is the most important investments need to start with investing in yourself, like knowing how to do the thing, learning what the steps are, the strategies. And then the next part is learning how to delegate, how to find the right support system and investing potentially, even if it's a part-time virtual assistant, someone who can help you on a very part-time basis, it's still going to be so valuable for you because that will free up your time and energy to focus on the most profit producing activities. And then after that, yes, once you have a validated offer, you can absolutely start investing in advertising, but not before you've done these first two options, right? Investing in your knowledge, investing in knowing the steps, right? Business mentorship and coaching needs to always be the foundational investment that your business is going to need at every stage that you're in. I have been working with business mentors myself since 2011. I don't think I will ever stop because no matter where I've been in my business, whether I was starting, delegating, putting it on autopilot, restarting a new business, structuring things, moving things around, having mentorship around me has been the best investment that I've ever made. I would not have been able to do what I've done had I not looked at knowledge, investment, and investing in myself as the most important part of any business decision and any budget decision. So I hope this helps. Let me know what your takeaways are. And remember, you don't have to go at it alone, right? If you need additional guidance or perspective, or just like to see where you are in this process and if whether or not you're ready to continue investing in advertising, then definitely reach out, book a call. We would love to support you. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you know anyone else who could benefit from listening to our podcast, please share a review, spread the word so that we can help more musicians create prosperity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, let's prosper together.